Hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you how I built these 5-pound soap molds for my wife, who is a soap maker. Check them out. So I made these soap molds out of 3/4 inch Baltic Burch plywood that I got from my local big box store, home center, whatever you want to call it. But it's 3/4 inch Baltic Birch. I bought a 2 foot by 4 foot piece and I built 2 molds out of it. I've got enough to probably do 2 more, maybe even 3 more molds. But so my wife started making soap and they sell these online, but I think the cheapest one we found was like 57 bucks plus tax plus shipping. So with me being a woodworker, naturally my wife is going to ask me to make these soap molds for her, which I did not mind doing that at all. So without further ado, let's get right into it and I'll show you how I built these soap molds. And who knows, I might start making these and selling them. I don't know yet. So right here we're going to rip our pieces for our soap molds down. This is going to be the bottom, and this is going to be 4 7/8. This plywood is 2 foot by 4 foot, so rip it long ways. It's a lot safer on the table saw. And then the side pieces are going to be 3 inches, so I'll rip a 3-inch piece down here. Then I'm going to go over to the miter saw. I'm going to cut 2 bottom pieces at 19 1/2. And just put the first piece on top of the second one and line it up. Make sure it's lined up good here, and cut the second piece. Right here I'm cutting the side pieces down to 18 inches. And that's why the bottom piece was 19 1/2, because you got an 18-inch piece and then you got 3/4 end pieces on both ends. So everything's going to be glued and nailed to the bottom piece for support. Just cut the first one here, make sure it's lined up on the end, and cut your second one, just like we did with the bottom piece. And then these are our end pieces. They're going to be 3 inches by 4 7/8. Now, if you're not comfortable cutting small pieces on a miter saw like this, then don't do it. I mean, there's other ways to do it. You can use a table saw sled or any other way you have. I feel pretty comfortable doing this. Just make sure you take it nice and slow and don't cut your finger off. So right here we're going to put the soap molds together now. Just going to take that first piece and put some glue on it. Just kind of stand it up on its edge there. That way you can make sure your end piece is straight and true and even. And then I used 18 gauge brad nails here to put this together. Glued in 18 gauge brad nails, sorry. Just put one on each end and one in the middle, be plenty. Now you can put these together with a drill and wood screws if you want to. Just remember to drill a pilot hole before you screw your screws in. That way you don't bust your plywood out. Wood glue, and brad nails are plenty to keep these boxes together. I mean, and I just thought that it would look better with just glue and brad nails. I have seen these things built with screws, but I went with the brad nails. And just put your glue on there and spread it with your top of the line glue spreader. In this case, my finger, because I don't have a glue brush. I don't know why I've never bought one. I guess the finger works. If it works, don't do anything. Don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is just me deciding which side I wanted to put this on, and I finally pick a side. Awesome. Stick it on there, make sure it's straight, even. Shoot a nail in the top of it, come back to the bottom. This Baltic Burch plywood, it's pretty straight when you buy it. I did have to pick through the pieces though. They already had them cut to 2 foot by 4 foot at my big box store, but I actually did have to shuffle through them and make sure that I got a straight piece. But you shoot some nails down the side here. I put them about every 2 or 3 inches or so. Make sure you wipe all that glue off. Just looks better. I mean, these soap molds, they'll be lined with parchment paper whenever she pours her soap into them. But you still want to make sure you get all the glue out right here. That way it looks better. We'll take our second side piece here and just put some glue on it and put it in place and brad nail her in there. Once again, spreading glue here with the top of the line glue spreader. I don't know if you guys noticed my finger there, but about a year ago, I had a mishap with a joiner. Don't ever try to run small stock through a joiner, because it will get you. I lost a pretty good chunk of my finger there. Learned my lesson though. Always use a push block or a push stick or something. Just don't even try to run small stock through a joiner. Maybe in the future I'll make a video on what happened. But for now, just notice my weird looking finger in these videos. I'm just sticking that piece up there just to make sure it's cut right, which I'm pretty sure it was. But like I said earlier, this plywood, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I might not have. This plywood wasn't quite 3/4, it was about 11/16. So when I cut the bottom piece at 19.5, I actually do have a little bit of overhang at the end here. But I cut it off on the miter saw. You'll see that when I get into the sanding here in a minute. I kind of pushed the mold too close to the blade and cut some of my veneer off of it and got a little bit of red paint off my blade onto the mold, but get it all screwed together, get all this excess glue wiped off of it. They're right there on the end. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's kind of too long, about 1/8 of an inch. Should get all the glue wiped out of it. And right here, I'm just running over it with 220 grit sandpaper, just to smooth it out a little bit. You can see on that second one right there on the end where I cut the excess off of the miter saw, I kind of got in too close with to the blade. And here they are finished. 5-pound soap molds, 18 by 3.5 by 3. If you got any value out of this video, please consider subscribing, like the video, hit the bell icon. That way you're notified of any new content that we have coming out. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.